Today for Fiction Friday, we're starting a new chapter in Lad, a Dog by Albert Payson Terhune. This one is titled His Little Son, and it already sounds like an adorable story. Lad as a daddy sounds so cute. Remember that in this book, each chapter is a new story, so you don't have to read the other ones to follow along. As always, the link to the ebook is in the description below. Chapter 4, Part 1, His Little Son. Lad's mate Lady was the only one of the little people about the place who refused to look on Lad with due reverence. In her frolic moods, she teased him unmercifully. In a prettily imperious way, she bossed and bullied him, for all of which Lad adored her. He had other reasons, too, for loving Lady, not only because she was dainty and beautiful and was caressingly fond of him, but because he had won her in fair mortal combat with the younger and showier Knave. For a time after Knave's routing, Lad was blissfully happy in Lady's undivided comradeship. Together they ranged the forests beyond the place in search of rabbits. Together they sprawled shoulder to shoulder on their disreputable old fur rug in front of the living room fire. Together they did joyous homage to their gods, the mistress and the master. Then in the late summer, a new arrival appeared. To be accurate, 3 rivals, and they took up all of Lady's time and thought and love. Poor old Lad was made to feel terribly out in the cold. The trio of rivals that had so suddenly claimed Lady's care were fuzzy and roly-poly, and about the size of month-old kittens. In brief, they were 3 thoroughbred collie puppies. 2 of them were tawny brown, with white forepaws and chests. The third was not like Lad in color, but like the mother. At least, all of him was not white, was of the indeterminate yellowish mouse gray which, at 3 months or earlier, turns to pale gold. When they were barely a fortnight old, almost as soon as their big mournful eyes opened, the 2 brown puppies died. There seemed no particular reason for their death, except the fact that a collie is always the easiest or else the most impossible breed of dog to raise. The fuzzy grayish baby alone was left, the puppy which was soon to turn to white and gold. The mistress named him Wolf. Upon baby Wolf, the mother dog lavished a ridiculous lot of attention, so much that Lad was miserably lonely. The great collie would try with pathetic eagerness, a dozen times a day, to lure his mate into a woodland ramble or into a romp on the lawn, but Lady met his wistful advances with absorbed indifference or with a snarl. Indeed, when Lad ventured over near the fuzzy baby, he was warned off by a querulous growl from the mother or by a slash of her shiny white teeth. Lad could not understand it. He felt no particular interest, only a mild and disapproving curiosity in the shapeless little whimpering ball of fur that nestled so helplessly against his beloved mate's side. He could not understand the mother love that kept Lady with Wolf all day and all night. It was an impulse that meant nothing to Lad. After a week or 2 of fruitless effort to win back Lady's interest, Lad coldly and wretchedly gave up the attempt. He took long solitary walks by himself in the forest, retired for hours at a time to sad brooding in his favorite cave under the living room piano, and tried to console himself by spending all the rest of his day in the company of the mistress and the master. And he came thoroughly to disapprove of Wolf. Recognizing the baby intruder as the cause of Lady's estrangement from himself, he held aloof from the puppy. The latter was beginning to emerge from his newborn shapelessness. His coat's texture was changing from fuzz to silk. Its color was turning from gray to yellow. His blunt little nose was lengthening and growing thin and pointed. His butterball body was elongating, and his huge feet and legs were beginning to shape up. He looked more like a dog now, and less like an animated muff. Also within Wolf's youthful heart awoke the devil of mischief, the keen urge of play. He found Lady a pleasant enough playfellow up to a certain point, but a painfully sharp pinch from her teeth or a reproving and breathtaking slap from one of her forepaws was likely to break up every game that she thought had gone far enough, when Wolf's clownish roughness at length got on her hair-trigger nerves. So in search of an additional playmate, the frolicsome puppy turned to Lad, only to find that Lad would not play with him at all. Lad made it very, very clear to everyone, except to the fool puppy himself, that he had no desire to romp or to associate in any way with this creature which had ousted him from Lady's heart. Being cursed with a soul too big and gentle to let him harm anything so helpless as Wolf, he did not snap or growl, as Lady did when the puppy teased. He merely walked away in hurt dignity. Wolf had a positive genius for tormenting Lad. The huge collie, for instance, would be snoozing away a hot hour on the veranda or under the wisteria vines. Down upon him, from nowhere in particular, would pounce Wolf. The puppy would seize his sleeping father by the ear and drive his little sharp milk teeth fiercely into the flesh. Then he would brace himself and pull backward, possibly with the idea of dragging Lad along the ground. Lad would wake in pain, would rise in dignified unhappiness to his feet and start to walk off, the puppy still hanging to his ear. As Wolf was a collie and not a bulldog, he would lose his grip as his fat little body left the ground. Then, at a clumsy gallop, he would pursue Lad, throwing himself against his father's forelegs and nipping at the slender ankles. All this was torture to Lad, and dire mortification too, especially if humans chanced to witness the scene. Yet never did he retaliate. He simply got out of the way. Lad, nowadays, used to leave half his dinner uneaten, and he took to moping in a way that is not good for dog or man. For the moping had no ill temper, nothing but heartache in his mate's desertion, and a weary distaste for the puppy's annoying antics. It was bad enough for Wolf to have supplanted him in Lady's affection, without also making his life a burden and humiliating him in the eyes of his gods. Therefore Lad moped. Lady remained nervously fussy over her one child, and Wolf continued to be a lovable but unmitigated pest. The mistress and the master tried in every way to make up for Lad for the positive and negative afflictions he was enduring, but the sorrowing dog's unhappiness grew with the days. Poor Lad. I'm sure this chapter will be adorable yet, but it's certainly not starting off that way. Lad just needs to realize that baby Wolf is his pup, and that means he is the greatest thing in the world. A daddy. I mean, my daddy is the greatest, so doesn't that mean all daddies are? I'm sure he misses Lady's affection, though. That must be hard for new daddies. I'm sure Lad will shape up and be the best doggy daddy that a pup could ever ask for. But we'll have to wait for next Friday to see what happens next. Be sure to come back on Monday for another Music Monday song. Thanks for hanging out with me today.